Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be doing a topic on what if Deku had the sun spirit. Now, you guys probably didn't know this, but I really like space and stuff like that. And I mean the sun spirit as in how do I put it? Like hmm he can harness the power of the sun is how I'm just gonna put it like that. And he does not look like how he does in the photo. He does not have a halo, but he does have rings on his body. He does not cry gold, but he does have golden rings on his body. That halo will appear. I'm not going to tell you when it will appear. But if you guys like this, if you guys like this video, then if we get to hmm if you want me to do a part 2, just comment it in the comment section. And or get this video to 30 likes, because I know you can do it. Pretty sure you guys can do it. Just comment if you want me to do a part 2. Sorry if you hear any background noise. My dog is right beside me when I'm recording this. And she likes to make a lot of noise. Okay, so basically, since she has the sun spirit, she can harness. Yeah, and in this universe, Deku does not. Deku doesn't have a. He doesn't have. How do I put that? He doesn't have a real gender. Not transgender. Okay, let's just put it that he's a boy. I was gonna do he might be a girl in this universe, but no, he is a boy in this one. What was that? Okay. So I will give you a rundown on all that she can do. I keep saying she for some reason. All what he can do for while using his quirk. He can create these energy balls that emit a strong light. They are a good light source. And he can shoot fire out of his palms, like kind of like Todoroki, except the fire is like it's hotter than the sun, basically. And if he uses his quirk correctly, he can hover for a short amount of time. And he can warp short distances, about 15 feet, which can come in very handy. He can blind his enemies by shining the energy. It's not flame. The energy is not enough energy for him to start fires or anything. It's just enough energy so that it emits a lot of light. It's like a flashlight. It's very bright, but it's not enough to start a fire. It is like that. And since he can harness the sun, he can basically increase his strength, kind of like if, kind of like when Deku had One for All in the anime. He can basically do that, except it's a lot more powerful. He basically can increase his strength to above All Might level. So yeah, he is very strong. let's just get into the what if. When Deku was born, he was born as a very happy and upbeat child. He never really did anything bad. He didn't like to lie, and he and his best friend Katsuki Bakugo were the best of friends. But one day, when Katsuki Bakugo discovered that his quirk was going to be very powerful, he started to get cocky, and then when it didn't help when he developed his quirk. Now, Deku got an even more powerful quirk. They couldn't detect what it was, but they knew it was going to be very powerful, above All Might level. So when his mom took Deku to the quirk doctor, the doctor told Inko that his quirk was going to be very strong. It would allow him to increase his power, and it would allow him to summon very hot fire. Now, they didn't have a definite answer on what the quirk is, as that is not all that the quirk can do. They just knew that those two things would be a part of it. And they said that he would have above All Might level power if he wanted to. It was a transformation type quirk. I know you're probably saying, well, why isn't it a emitter? It is because the golden rings on him, those only appear when he is increasing his strength or using his quirk. And they start to shine and glow when he is using his quirk. It's a transformation type quirk because it transforms his body, and the golden rings emit some type of fiery substance that is very hot, almost like lava, except it's a lot more liquidy and a lot hotter. So, Deku never told anyone how powerful his quirk was going to be. He just said that his quirk allowed him to summon fire. And of course, Katsuki was happy with this and told Deku that he was worthless and that he would never be more powerful than Katsuki. Deku didn't really pay attention to this as he knew Katsuki didn't know his true power, but he didn't want to hurt Katsuki's feelings. Cut forward to middle school, and the teacher comes in with tons of papers and says, I guess I should pass out these papers and see where you all want to go. And he throws all of them in the air and using his quirk spreads them across the entire room, I guess. It's in this universe it's more of like a small closet. It's more of a big closet in this universe. The class is very small as Deku is not in a public school. He's in a private school, and Katsuki is not in this middle school. So the teacher comes in, uses his quirk, and throws the papers to every desk. Now Deku obviously wants to go to UA. So he takes it home, fills it out for a UA application, sends it to UA, and then writes down that he wants to go to UA, and then gives it to his mom, where she then finishes signing the paper and sends it back off to the school. Let's cut back to the next day, where Deku goes back to school. Now, when Deku gets back to school, the teacher gets the papers and passes them out, saying that everyone had good answers. Now, he went up to Deku's desk and asked Deku if he could talk to Deku in private. Deku agreed, and they went into the next room. Now, the teacher told him that he wanted to go to UA, yes? Deku replied, yes, I do want to go to UA. It's been my dream to go there. The teacher says, okay, I'll let you get off early today since in 10 months is the UA entrance exam, and you'll need to train. Deku agrees, and they walk back into school, into the room. The teacher says that Deku has to go, so Deku packs up his bags and leaves the room. His mom comes, picks him up, and they go straight to the beach. Now, Deku doesn't come to the beach to clean it up. No, he does not come to the beach for that reason. He comes to the beach to practice his flames, as that would be his most that would be his main way of fighting. Now, if he was going to get in UA, he'd have to give it his all. He couldn't just use his fire. So, Deku started training his super strength 2 and got it so that he could lift up to 3 tons with no sweat. Now, this may seem strong, but this was just Deku's beginning. By the end of the 10 months, he could lift up to 15 tons without even breaking a sweat. Now, that is so many pounds. I'm pretty sure a ton is 2,000 pounds. So, you can do the math, and that's how much he can lift without breaking a sweat. The most he can lift before he absolutely crushes his body and he can't lift anymore is around 100 tons. And that's going to get even bigger. Now you may be wondering, well, you never make your characters this OP. I made one Deku in a video called What If Deku Was the Galaxy Spirit. Go check it out. It's a really good video because more than 2,000 people have clicked on the video. So I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good video. Go click on that video, and Deku is really overpowered in that video too. In most of my videos, he's overpowered. In What If Deku Had Regenerative Immortality, Deku is he has a good quirk, but it's not exactly a quirk that would be helpful for fighting villains. This quirk specializes in mobility and combat instead of defense and protection, unlike What If Deku Had Regenerative Immortality. Now, don't get me wrong, Deku can still, what is that keep happening? Deku can still, he can still block and defend. It's not his main thing, though. He's more of the fighting type. So, at the entrance exam, Angstrix exam, what the heck am I talking about? At the entrance exam, he starts off in the lead by increasing his speed up to Ida's speed. So he is keeping up with Ida at this speed. And he's starting to gain a bit of speed. Every robot he sees, he immediately runs up to and tears them to shreds in less than 2 seconds. Now, he repeats this process for every single robot he sees. But then when he's tearing up a 3-pointer, he hears a strange, loud, blood-curdling scream. So he goes to check out what it is, and he sees a brown-haired girl. He runs over to her and asks her if she's okay. She says that she's stuck under the rubble and she can't lift the rubble. He says, "I'll get you out of this rope." And he's about to lift the rubble when he spots a ginormous 3-pointer. Or not 3-pointer, a 0-pointer. Deku is about to get her out of the rubble when the 3-pointer, I keep saying 3-pointer, when the 0-pointer starts stomping towards them. Deku turns around and glares at the robot, almost as if he thought the robot was a real person. The robot starts to burst into flames, melting and melting as Deku jumps up. The flames suddenly stop. He falls back to the ground, dragging the robot with him, smashing the robot into one of the buildings. And then the robot proceeds to melt. All the teachers were wondering how powerful must this kid be. But that was only the beginning for Deku. He could get a lot stronger, a lot faster. Skip to after the entrance exam. Deku was in class at class 1A. He was sitting in his seat when suddenly he heard yelling. He turned around and saw a blue-haired boy standing right at someone who was extremely familiar's desk, yelling at them for having their feet on the table. Now this person with a weirdly bad temper yelled at this blue-haired boy to go away, as he was being a lot more annoying than another green-haired boy he knew. Well, yellow-haired, golden, I don't know. Okay, Deku in this universe has golden hair. He's a blonde, per se. His hair is identical to gold. He looks at this bad-tempered boy and asks what his name is. This bad-tempered boy says, "And who do you think you are?" As Deku shoots back with, "I'm Izuku Midori." This bad-tempered boy looks at Deku with a confused look on his face. He says, "Why does that sound familiar?" This bad-tempered boy shoots back at Deku with, I'm Katsuki Bakugo." Deku suddenly gets a flashback to Katsuki Bakugo, but still can't really remember him. Katsuki says, "I know you from somewhere. Who are you?" Deku says, I can remember you from somewhere. Who are you?" Katsuki said, "Oh, I thought Deku would be here." And then suddenly, Deku remembers this strange person with a bad temper. He says, "Katsuki? I'm Deku." As Katsuki looks at him with a confused look on his face and says, "Sorry, what was that?" Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what that was. I just heard a knock. Okay. So let's skip forward to the training regiment. Aizawa and all of Class 1A is at the training fields, and Aizawa tosses Deku a ball, saying, "You were the one who got the first place on the test, with 64 rescue points and 1,000 robot points. Throw the ball as far as you can. What was your score in middle school?" Deku says, my score in middle school was 54 meters. Aizawa says, "Okay, now use your quirk at its full potential." Deku winds back his fist as he throws the ball as far as he can. The ball looks like it stopped in the mid-air. Aizawa looks at Deku and says, "Is that your quirk? Telekinesis?" Deku says, "Just wait." as the air pressure around it suddenly gets so high that the air is busting and crackling, and there's now fire around the ball. Aizawa says, "Okay, what's going to happen?" Aizawa looks down at his meter counter and sees that it says infinite. And then when he looks at back at the ball has suddenly disappeared, but the fire and the air is still crackling. Aizawa says, "Man, this kid must be fast. He tricked my eyes." Aizawa tries to stop his quirk, but the fire keeps going and the air is still crackling. Now, if you're wondering, Aizawa cannot erase Deku's quirk. He can nullify it so that Deku can't fully use his quirk. Now, the thing is, Deku does have a quirk, but it is not Sun Spirit. His quirk is basically called Strength Enhancer, and Sun Spirit just makes that quirk stronger. One second, I'll be right back. My dog wanted out of my room, so I had to let her out. Sorry if you hear any background noises, but let's get back. Now, Strength Enhancer doubles his normal strength. If you could normally lift 20 pounds, you could lift 40 pounds. If you could lift 100 pounds, now you can lift 200 pounds. You get it. So, let's get back into it. So, Deku is training on the field, and he gets first in everything. And when he throws the ball, people are saying, "Wow, that's so cool!" Aizawa says, "If it's so cool, then why does the last person get expelled?" Everyone freezes up as they say, "You're going to expel the person who gets last place?" Aizawa says, "Yes. Now get in line. It's your turn." So everyone throws the ball, getting the normal scores that they get in the anime, except Bakugo. He usually would have gotten that score. I can't remember what it was. He got 705 meters, I'm pretty sure. But now he only gets 700 meters. Yeah, he is a lot weaker than he is in the anime because he doesn't go to school with Deku and he doesn't work out or anything like that. And he's a lot nicer. But he still has a very bad temper. Now everyone gets the normal scores except for Bakugo. He gets a little less than he does in the actual thing. Now we're at the grip strength. Deku grabs the grip strength and completely tears it apart. He doesn't even squeeze that hard. For him, he doesn't squeeze that hard. He pinches it and it just completely breaks, going above like 10 tons, I think. No, it was going above like 2 tons. So it completely shattered the grip strength thing. Sorry if you hear any background noises. There's a bunch of cars for some reason. But yeah. So let's skip forward to them going to the USJ. Sorry for all the skips. It's just this was out late and I need to get this out today or else my schedule is going to be messed up. So I have to get this out today, so yeah. Okay, so they're at the USJ and the same thing happens. All Might comes and saves them. Deku he doesn't try and kill the Nomu. Everything goes as planned. So they all get back from the USJ. Everyone is completely shaking in their boots when Deku's just sitting there like, eh. Could have been scarier, I guess. But no one really understood Deku either, except Bakugo. He was also like, it wasn't even that scary, guys. What the heck? And Todoroki wasn't scared, but he didn't want to say anything because he thought he might lose his reputation as a good student. So Aizawa calls off school for a week, saying that they need to train, that they're going to go off school for a week, but that doesn't mean they can't train. If they don't train, then they won't be prepared for the sports festival. So when Deku goes home, he goes straight to the beach and squishes all the traps without even trying. And he ends up boosting how much he can lift. Like he could use at first he could lift up to 15 pounds without breaking a sweat, but now he can lift 30 pounds without breaking a sweat. And now he can lift 500 pounds is the most he can lift. 500 tons. 30 tons is the most he can lift without breaking a sweat. 500 tons is the most he can lift. And you're probably saying, how does that work? How did how much he could lift just doubled. But how much he could lift, the most he could lift went up by 400. That doesn't make sense. There's going to be a lot of things in this series that doesn't make sense if I even make this into a series. So, Deku trains and ends up boosting his strength to that. Now it's time for the sports festival. Again, I'm very sorry for all the skips. It's just this video has to be out today, and I haven't had time to upload this. I've been planning to upload this video for a few weeks now, but it took a while for me to put the thumbnail together and for me to put the video script together. So this video has just been a whole mess. It's just been a mess. I'm planning on this video being 30 minutes long, but it probably won't. And if it is, good for me. Okay. Deku ends up winning the sports festival. So he beats Todoroki and then goes on to destroy Bakugo. And his first opponent, Shinso, he absolutely destroys just by touching the ground, shattering the concrete. He merely taps the ground, shatters the concrete, sending Shinso flying. Deku makes sure that Shinso won't go flying out of the stadium, but he'll go flying just enough so that he'll land in the grass. Next, his next opponent is Shinso. Not Shinso. Dang it, not Shinso. His next opponent is Shoto. He goes up against Shoto, as Shoto thinks that he might have a hold on Deku. He starts trying to trap Deku in an ice capsule when Deku just stops. He just sits down as Todoroki is moving Deku in his ice capsule. Now when Deku senses he's about to get pushed out of the ring, he melts the ice and punches and taps the ground. He taps the ice capsule, breaking the ice completely, shattering most of the cement or concrete. I'm going to call it concrete for this video, sending Todoroki flying. Todoroki catches himself as he flings himself back at Deku, as he uses an ice wall to trap Deku again from shooting him back. Deku melts the wall immediately and taps the air slightly, and that sends Todoroki, or Shoto, absolutely flying out of the ring. No, not like Shinso. He flew out of the entire U.S. the sports festival stadium. He just got flung out. Now Deku knew just when Todoroki was going to land, so they called that Deku won. So Deku flung himself out of the U.S. I keep calling it the U.S. He flung himself out of the sports festival, caught Todoroki, and started flying back into the sports festival. He gave Todoroki some tips, saying, "You should really use your fire. It would really help you in battle." So they all go back to the class. Todoroki doesn't really like Deku anymore in this universe. So Deku is just sitting at his desk. Aizawa is teaching. And it is time for Deku to go home. What happens next? Deku thinks. Am I going to get to go on a field trip, or what's going to happen during the summer? It's almost time for the year to be over anyways. It's not like anything's gonna happen. When Deku goes to school the next day, he catches word of a training camp that's going to happen during the summer. He naturally gets his hopes up, but when they get to the training camp, it is a lot more disappointing than Deku thought it would be. Deku was already very strong and couldn't get much stronger, is what the teachers thought. So naturally, when they told the kids to find their way through the woods and get to the training camp, Deku was the first one to get there, as he just flew over the entire woods. The teachers pointed to where the kids were supposed to go and said it would take roughly 3 hours. Deku said okay, as he knew it would take him at least 2 minutes to get there if he wasn't going that fast. Not fast for him. Probably very fast for anyone else. So he was flying over the fields, over the trees, jumping, helping his fellow classmates whenever he could, and he was the first one to get there. And all the teachers got there and were surprised that he was there first. Aizawa said, "He's really fast and really strong. I'm surprised he hasn't figured this out earlier." "I'm surprised you guys hadn't figured this out earlier," is what Aizawa said to the Wild Wild Pussycats. So I'm not gonna say that. That is a very long name. I'm just gonna call them the Wildcats. So the Wildcats go up to Aizawa and say, "Is he really that fast?" Aizawa says, "Yes. He ended up getting an infinity by not even trying, and in the sports festival he won without even breaking a sweat." So naturally, almost everybody he meets is intimidated by him. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you want a part 2. Anyways, I hope you liked this video, as this took a long time to get out. And if you don't like the video, that's fine. Just go watch another one of my videos. And if you like that, like, comment, or subscribe. Or then again, you don't really have to, but yeah. Comment if you want a part 2. And let's try and hit a like goal of 30. Okay? That shouldn't be too hard, I think. Anyways, that's the end of this video, so bye!